Yeah, you are not my people. You are not my equal. You are no amigo. Whoa, whew. You are not my people. You are not my equal. You are no amigo. Cause I do not fall under pressure. Yeah, cause that be that bag talking. That be that money talking. That be my moves walking. Feel like I'm moonwalking. Yeah, feel like I'm moonwalking.
So you've been making beats for a while now.
Right.
That's how most people know you.
Right.
Is your producer side.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about that tag that you have inside of all of your beats. Turn that beat down. When I first heard it, I thought it was so unique because every successful producer has a unique tag. That's just the way of the game.
Right.
So can you give us the story behind your tag?
My tag is actually my mother is actually the person who does my tag. So the story came about. So the story came about. We was in the studio with me, Mir, and Ish, that we always do. And a lot of our sessions at the time, we used to start sessions off with 2K. Like at my crib, and I used to either put on 2K or put on Martin, and we just like vibing or whatever the case may be. And so I grew up in a black household, so my mom always is like, you gotta turn that thing down after a while. I gotta get up for work. One day we was just chilling, and it kind of popped up in the conversation like, we should have your mom like do like that'd be dope, and kind of figure out what she was gonna say and that type of stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out, and then like I figured out to go like, turn the beat down, whatever the case may be. So I had her like record it from the top of her door, like at the door at my room. It was like farther away at the time where I used to live at. And so she came in, I was like, she didn't even know that I was recording her. That's why I came off so natural. I was like, like just tell me, like turn the beat down. She's like, what? And then she got mad because I kept telling her to say it, and she didn't know why she wanted to say it. So I just knew the third time she was going to say it was going to be the most like natural one I got. So she was really honestly mad when she said turn that beat down. I just happened to catch it, and I'm like, all right, that's it. Like next thing you know, so now when she hear it, it's like it cracks up. Like she be cracking up when she hear that joint. So yeah, it's from my mom how I got that.
Damn, that's an amazing story. I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story to know.
Facts. Appreciate that.
Something else that I've found out about you, that I definitely have a question on for the people who may not know. You've worked with Jahlil Beats,
right?
And for the people that may not know, that's who helped Meek get to where he's at today.
Right.
So I just want to know, like, how did that get set up, and how was that experience?
Yeah. Well, obviously, shout out my brother Mir, because we was working on his Camden album at the time. And he was already kind of building that connection with Jahlil. Actually, let me keep it real with you. The whole my influence on when I started making beats came from Jahlil. Mind you, I started making beats at 14, so we thinking that 2000, it's got to be early 2010s or 2009, around that time, whatever the case may be. So I'm kind of really trying to find myself as a producer. The wave, at least in our area, this tri-state area, was when a party came on, there was a certain tag they used to hit. It used to be like, Jahlil Beats, holla at me. That was the talk. The tag was so pulverizing that people thought he was saying jungle. It was a debate. You know what I mean? What was it saying? So I'm saying, so for me, going into the situation, I kind of idolized what he was doing at the time. So I honestly, that's kind of what inspired my situation with Mir, of how we want that whole bang, bang, bang. We figured out our own unique style after that, but that Jahlil, that was crazy. That was big. So when Mir brought me in a situation like, like we trying to work on something, let's do something. Jahlil already had the original beat to Moneybag, and I was in a session. I was just chilling, fly on the wall. You know what I mean? Humble dude, just trying to learn. And then Mir was like, it's kind of missing something, and he sent me the record. So now I'm home, touching Jahlil's stems and trying to figure out what I can do realistically to make it hot. I figured out what it was. I felt like what was missing, at least my interpretation on it. Next thing you know, Mir hits me up, and then like I think Jahlil was like his one person he was working with, other producer, hits me up like, yo, Jahlil say, yo, you love this joint crazy. Probably the biggest compliment I got at the time, you know what I mean? Ended up running into him at an event. I think it was a Rec Philly event. And I got a chance to actually like conversate about it, and he told me in person like, yo, like this shit dope. So that for me, Jahlil, that was definitely one of the big collabs on my list.
That's dope. All right. So that kind of rolls into my next question, I guess. Which producer have you collaborated with and learned the most from, and what is something that you've learned?
Yeah, that's an easy question. I guess Kenneth Muse is probably the first name that's gonna come to my mind. He pushed me as a producer like I can't even put in words how much he pushed me as far as like us just going on what he can bring to the table, what I can bring to the table. Our eras were similar but at the same time unique, and it had its own style, and we just found a way to blend it. Honestly, Mir and Ishno, like yo, it worked right into their favor, because me and Kenny were still really. I was already a little bit more polished on finding out what I was doing as a producer. Kenny was getting right back into doing it more heavily after he was still doing as an artist stuff. And then next thing you know, I feel like I could say, safe to say, I kind of inspired him. He inspired me to do better from a production standpoint. And we really took our energy out on Mir's projects, and Mir's projects, and Shaquille project. Now you can hear like, yo, me and Kenny were just really going at it as far as like in a friendly competition to push each other the best way possible. And like, yeah, so I would say Kenneth Music is who I learned from the most, inside and outside of music. Conversations we have besides production is crazy. I mean, it's beautiful to really see some of the things we talked about and then see it get in fruition. It's like, it's crazy. So yeah, Kenny is definitely probably my guy.
Alright, so I guess we'll roll into the next obvious question. Well, what's a tip that you would give to a young producer who's trying to get better at their craft?
Yeah, don't be afraid to have inspirations, but at the same time, don't put that in a box. Don't put your inspirations in a box. You feel what I'm saying? Like, prime example, yeah, I love Jahlil beats. I really did. But, you know, in the same listening session, I would be putting on Queen. You know what I'm saying? Or the same listening session, I'll find different music, or I put on James Brown, or I put on Stevie Wonder songs of Kid Life, just to have more of an eclectic mind on how to make music. So I would say, don't be afraid to, like, you know, gear towards your inspirations. Just make sure it's not in a box. You know what I mean? And then I'll say my second one is, you know, don't fall too much into being a robotic brander type of producer right now. I think that's kind of been, you know, social media been doing that with any job now. You know, that's always like that overly brand type thing for certain positions. So don't fall into that. Still understand what makes you unique is going to get you into this game. So just because this YouTube producer made, you know, get 1 million streams off of making his graphics look like this or making his tech, don't mean that's just the way to do it. Music is opinionated, and if it's hot, it's hot. Nowadays, it don't matter what you look like. You can have purple hair and you know, and be white, or you can be black with blonde hair and make a hit, and nobody cares. As it should be, but that's just the way it is now. So yeah.
Fact.